Hi, I'm Dr. David Geyer, orthopedic surgeon and sports medicine specialist, and I provide education and commentary on injuries and injury treatments and injury prevention in sports and exercise for athletes and active people, probably very much like yourself, so that you can stay healthy and perform your best. Now, I live in Charleston, South Carolina. Let's face it, it's a coastal city in the South, it's beautiful, and it's warm. So we don't deal with really cold weather in the winter. Typically our highs are in the 50s, maybe low 60s, and our lows are in the 40s, maybe the upper 30s. That's about as bad as it gets here. And to be fair, that's why a lot of people move down from the north to live here. Last year, we did have a stretch where the lows it was like a 2-day stretch, got to about 18 degrees, and everybody was freaking out because it was so cold. But you know, that's not normal for us. And I know you don't feel sorry if you live up in the north, because that may be your norm. I mean, when I lived in St. Louis for a year in my sports medicine fellowship, there were lots of days in the winter where the high temperature was 14 or 16 degrees. Just going to my gym, you know, a quarter mile away, driving, mind you, and I'd have to get all bundled up just to go to the gym. So as we're dealing with this cold weather, especially up in climates where it can get really cold, or you may deal with snow and ice, you have to dress appropriately for exercise. Let's face it, you might not want to go to the gym and do things indoors. So if you want to do it outdoors, you have to dress in a way that you can exercise, but you can exercise safely. So I have a few tips to share. Yes, even though I live here in Charleston, I have a couple suggestions how you can dress safely no matter where you live, so that you can stay warm and stay healthy. The first thing I would probably suggest is that you wear shoes that have the appropriate tread. Because especially if you're a runner, you may not see patches of ice on the road or on the sidewalk, especially if you run in the early morning or at night where the light's not as good. You need to wear shoes with appropriate tread. You don't want to slip and fall and suffer a major injury that way. Now, you're going to lose a lot of body heat potentially. We think of wearing a coat or wearing pants, obviously a good idea. We'll talk about that. But you lose a lot of heat from your head and from your feet and from your hands. So you need to wear a hat. You need to wear gloves or a mitten, and you probably ought to wear moisture-wicking socks as well to stay warm. Another thing people often don't forget is, especially with snow and ice on the ground, is that you can still get sunburn. The sun rays come down, they hit the snow and ice, bounce up and hit you in the face or any parts of your exposed skin. So wear sunglasses, that's always important, and wear sunscreen. This is a big deal for skiers and snowboarders that go out west. You can get really bad sunburn because all that sun hits the snow, and then obviously your skin is exposed and you get a sunburn. Now back to what I wanted to talk about. This is the one everybody thinks about with cold, is what should I wear? Again, on my body, because that's where you're the most uncomfortable in this weather. And one of the mistakes people make is they wear a big thick coat, one single layer. But the problem with that is that you can't adjust to the temperature. So if it's not as cold as you thought, you don't have anything really under it, or maybe just a t-shirt, and so you could overheat if you keep it on. The best thing to do is to dress in layers. And typically we recommend 3 layers. Your bottom layer should be some sort of polyester shirt, for instance, because cotton, the problem with cotton, now even though it feels good, is that you're going to sweat and the cotton's going to absorb that sweat, so then basically it keeps all that sweat, your body stays wet essentially. Polyester wicks the moisture out away from your body. Your second layer on top of that layer can be thick or it can be thin, really depending on what the temperatures are like outside. And then the third layer, your outer layer, should be some sort of windproof and waterproof shell. The advantage of the layers, again, if it's warmer than you expected, you can take a layer off, or if it's colder, you put it back on, that type of thing. And the last thing I'd suggest is you don't want to overdress. You're going to generate a lot of heat and a lot of sweat while you're exercising, so keep that in mind, that you don't have too much on and you potentially overheat. Now, what are your tips? Did I miss anything? If you live, up north and deal with this on a regular basis, what tips do you have about what people should wear in cold weather or snowy conditions or icy conditions? I'd love to hear your thoughts and your advice for other people. So below this video, share your advice. I'd love to read it. I'd love to comment on it as well. So leave those below this video. If you know people that live up north and battle with this on a regular basis, I'd really appreciate it if you'd share this video with them so maybe it can give them some insight on what they can do. They want to exercise, but they don't want to go inside and run on the treadmill. Maybe this video can be helpful for them. If you like more information like this on injuries and injury treatments and injury prevention, subscribe to my video channel. I record 1 or 2 of these videos every single week, and I'd love to deliver those directly to you. Last, go to my website, drdavidgeyer.com, and enter your name and your email list. There's so many resources that I share by email on ways to stay healthy and perform your best, whatever sport you like to play, or whatever exercise you like to do, and I only share those by email. So go to my website, drdavidgeyer.com, and sign up. Thank you so much for watching. Get out there and exercise no matter how cold it is. Try to figure out a way to do it, but please do it safely. And I look forward to seeing you right here next time.